I'm going to share with you guys a letter. It's a letter that I wrote to myself nearly 7 years ago, and it's a letter that really changed my life. It's a letter of truth. It's a letter of being totally direct and honest with myself. It's a letter of honesty. It's a letter of vulnerability. It's a letter of me challenging myself that stirred up a lot of emotion within myself, calling myself out on the behavior and how I was living my life before this moment. The struggles that I had, the laziness, the procrastination, the lack of consistency, living my life as a dabbler, the fear, the limitations that I was buying into. And it's a letter that really challenged myself, and I experienced a lot of pain as a result of it. I had to break down. But sometimes you got to have the breakdown before you have the breakthrough. And so I'm going to share with you guys this letter. To give you guys some context, this letter is actually from day 11 of the 100-Day Challenge, which is a program that really changed my life at the time, and I still go through to this day. But at the time, I was living in my friend's living room. It's January 22nd, 2010. I was living in my friend's living room. I was struggling in my life. I was broke. I was in credit card debt. I had been on the journey of self-development for many years, and I've had many moments of breakdowns and breakthroughs and transformations throughout the years, but more so this area of my life financially is where I was coming up short. And I had the goals and the dreams to be financially free, to make money online, to change my life in that area, but I wasn't doing what was necessary consistently to be able to make that happen. I was a dabbler. I wasn't committed to mastery. So I joined this program called the 100-Day Challenge in 2010. I had a friend that was doing it who was more successful than myself, and he had a goal to make $100,000 in 100 days. And I decided I was going to invest in it as well. I didn't have the money to, but I was resourceful enough and desperate enough really to commit to something new and really making a change in the course of 100 days of my life. And so I was going through the 100-Day Challenge. Day 11, there's a Dear John letter. It's a letter that you write to yourself. And this is the letter that I wrote to myself. I might have gotten parts of it, I don't recall, from the program, but I'm going to read it to you guys. And it's a letter that I wrote to myself coming from my future self, my goals, my dreams, my aspirations. So I'm going to read it to you guys here. January 22nd, 2010. Dear Stefan, you probably already know what this letter is about. You've seen it coming. I know you have. It's about us, Stefan. It's over. I'm leaving you. I've hung on as long as I could. And you've got to give me credit for that. I mean, the way you swept me off my feet and spoke lovingly about our future together. I waited so long for your embrace, your attention, and for your love. Why have you neglected me, Stefan? Why have you made so many excuses? Your inaction and addiction to procrastination is absolutely tearing me apart. I simply must move on. For years, I would get so excited about the financial freedom that you were going to create, the places that we're going to visit together, and the home on the water where we could watch the sunset every night. My heart would pitter-patter every time we talked about to meet, other people, only to be let down once again. Because you were afraid. Stefan, what were you afraid of? It's only me. I'm your hopes, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. I wanted you as much as you wanted me, but you left me no choice, Stefan. I simply must move on. Please do not attempt to talk your way out of this. The years of indecision and lack of discipline can tell me everything that I need to know. If you really, and I mean you really wanted me, then you would have found a way for us to be together. I'm so tired of having my hopes soar so high just to see them dashed. I simply must move on. Time is watching by without us, Stefan. And my greatest fear is suddenly becoming visible on the horizon. I'm so afraid that we have come to the end of this 100-day challenge and never had the chance to really get to know one another. It absolutely breaks my heart to even be able to maintain this thought, and I simply must move on. Like the genie that grants 3 wishes, I wanted to give you your heart's desire. All I ever wanted, need, or asked for was your attention, your devotion, and your willingness to work hard for me. If that was too much to ask for you, Stefan, then I'm sorry, but still I just must move on. All things of value must be earned, and I've grown tired of your excuses and lack of patience. On numerous occasions, I was within your grasp, but you quit too soon. Why did you leave me when you were so close? You were so close and you left. I'll let you in on a little secret. Every day, I would call out to you. I would whisper, I am your goal. Here I am. Come and get me. I'm curious, Stefan, why did you never hear me? I repeated this question day after day, month after month, year after year. But now I've grown tired of hearing that the timing is not right, that you're tired, or that you can't do this, or that someday you'll get around to it. Well, Stefan, it's time that I get myself around to it and find someone else who is committed. Someone who is focused, someone who is proactive. I simply must move on. On behalf of all your hopes, your dreams, and desires, there is something that you should know about us, Stefan. We will never fail you, nor let you down. The main reason why we have not yet embraced one another, Stefan, is because you have failed us by not taking action. Why? Sincerely, your goals and your dreams. Powerful. This is a letter that I wrote, and this letter is a direct challenge, calling myself out. My goals, my dreams, we all have these goals, these dreams, these desires. They're there. They exist. And they're beckoning us. They're calling us out, waiting patiently for us to pursue them. And I knew that the life that I desired was there. But for whatever reason, I was coming up short. I wasn't taking action. I wasn't committing fully. I was dabbling. I was getting distracted. I wasn't doing what it took. And sometimes you got to be honest with yourself. You got to have that direct conversation with yourself to call yourself out, to get to the truth, because the truth will set you free. You get to the truth, man, you can change anything in your life. The truth is painful. Not everybody wants to face the truth and be honest with themselves, because it means that you have to admit to yourself that you're not enough on some level. You have to admit to yourself your failures and your shortcomings and where you're coming up short. It doesn't feel good. It's a total blow to your ego and your self-esteem. And sure enough, what that causes is it creates pain. It creates that breakdown. But like I said, sometimes you got to have the breakdown to have the breakthrough. And this is a moment that changed my life because I got my act together. I made a decision no more was I going to continue living my life that way. And instead, I was going to commit to mastery. Now, was I perfect? No. I made many mistakes. I still wasn't consistent, and I had many other moments in my life, trust me, where I hit rock bottom and I totally crashed and I had to have that direct conversation with myself. But this is a moment that I specifically remember really opening myself up to doing what was necessary to change my life. It's a moment that I'll never forget. And I came across this because I was going through some old journals and notes and goals and things of that nature, and I came across this letter and it really moved me. So, do you have to make that honest conversation with yourself? It's the question that I have for you. Is it time for you to be totally honest with yourself about where you're at in your life and your shortcomings, your failures, the dabbling attitude, the mentality that you've lived with, and finally decide, you know what? I'm not going to live that way anymore. Maybe you got to write a letter to yourself. Maybe you got to draw the line in the sand. Maybe you got to burn your boats. Maybe you got to do something. I don't know what that is for you, but hopefully this letter and me sharing this can share a little bit about my past and my story and help you recognize within yourself potentially some limitations that have been holding you back and helping you remind yourself of the truth of what you're truly capable of. Because I know the potential's within you. I might not even met you before, but I know within every human being on this planet, including yourself watching this right now, is that there's a sleeping giant within you. The potential for your goals and your dreams or desires, they're there. But maybe you've just suppressed them. Maybe you've had fear hold you back. Maybe it's a limiting belief or a story or some sort of excuse that's stopping you from going to the next level in your life. And I hope that you have the courage to look yourself in the mirror, be honest with yourself, and make that change and set yourself free to the next level of your life. Thanks for watching.